Boom. And we're on live again. Let's see if that's up again. It should be. Yeah, it should be. Tell me if that works. The quality should be okay. Let's just make sure the quality's there. Let's see. Wait for that advert to finish, and then I'll make sure it's working. Okay, so a chosen live stage has a particular operation. So how currently do we choose a live stage? Stage chosen. Right, so we grab all of the possible live stages. Interesting. So chosen live stage is something different, isn't it? Ah, it's a live stage with an expiration year and the operation embedded. Interesting. Just figuring out how my code works. To be honest, I'm not succeeding to figure out how my code works. I'm working on it. Let's clear that one. Oh. Okay. That means that okay. I was just trying to get my head into this. What's the spec say? Right, now we've got an essential vacancies. That works, right, that's what I expected. So with TDD, what else fails, just run the test. So for every vacancy, we're not doing anything for it yet. It would be easy enough for us to figure out what the operation is. That would be quite straightforward because we just need to go through the operations here, create this here, and then say for each life stage vacancy, let's actually pop that in here, there, like so. Just going to rename that because it's just a bit too long-winded. Okay, so for every human that's alive within this operation, we can figure out hello if you've just joined. Let me just give you a quick summary of where we're up to. What I'm trying to do here is figure out how to ensure that we connect the history with the actual running game. And sometimes what happens is that the history creates a whole bunch of possible jobs that need to be done, but the game doesn't actually fill them. There are vacancies in that history, which isn't good. The reason that's bad is because, for example, if the space traffic controller, a little bit like air traffic control, if that isn't working, if that isn't any good, then we're in trouble because players won't be able to dock at the planet because no one will give them clearance, which is terrible. So what I'm doing is I'm writing a piece of code that fills the essential vacancies. So job vacancies should, in theory, be created and filled in at the end of the process of of generating the history and starting the game. So basically, for each vacancy we've got, we need to go through all of the humans. Now, if the human is in an essential vacancy, that's the trick. I need to figure out, so if human is in essential vacancy, then skip. Does human match the vacancy? If not, then skip. Force choose a random human from the list and force them to take the job. Cool. That's what I've got to do basically. So the first thing I need to work out is the human in an essential vacancy? Now, interestingly enough, this spec that we've got here just does a quick check to see if they're in essential vacancies. What's going to happen is here this is actually going to be 2 humans because it's going to fill the first one, and I think there's only 1 human in this test. Let's see. Yeah, initial humans for map 1. So the point is that it's only going to fill the first one if this is true. That means that we need to check the human's job. Now, the only reason we know that a particular human's job is an essential one is by checking stages, chosen life stage, right? We can tell based on the operation, I think. Person joined, person left. We know when someone leaves. So in theory, we know something about their job. That's what I need to try and figure out. Person left. Chosen life stage left. Right, so that particular person leaves that particular life stage. So we can tell, if we ask the operation the human's currently in, we can tell whether it's an essential one. Yes, we can tell. So we kind of need to ask human chosen, hang on, humans have current life stage, which is just a life stage. They also have a chosen life stage, which is stage. Okay, stage, and we're basically going to need to say it's got an operation, so is it, so the question is this essential? Is it an essential job? Now we can tell this because if there's no operation, we simply return false. Yeah, I need a test for this. Don't have any tests for this. I'm just going to be careful. If operation operation the operation itself knows it's the type of the operation. Now this should be able to tell whether a particular life stage is essential, because they can look at the organization chart, which is the vector operation roles, there it is, and check if that particular life stage is essential. Fine. So the operation type has this idea of bool essential oh, it has a fine life stage job based on a life stage const pointer stage const. Oops. Yes, right. So let's find the life stage, because this will be very similar to what I want to do. Oh, now I'm in the wrong thing. I'm in the wrong place. Wrong place. Okay. We're in a central job. Life stage. This is the right one. Yes, this is the one I want to be in. Operation type. If role job. In fact, because we're using hashes, I can just do this. Unsigned hash equals stage, which is just unsigned hash. If role job hash equals hash, then I can return role essential. If it's not there, it's false. Brilliant. That's really helpful. So now I can say, is this an essential job? And I can just do life stage hash. Brilliant. Right, so that means that I can tell in way back in the history now whether or not the human is in an essential job. Which means I won't let him take the job if he is in an essential job already. Right, so for this particular vacancy I need a vector of humans, which is a human list. Candidates, and then I can say candidates push back human if we get to as far as that, and then basically I can just say candidates. I basically just need a random human from that list. Where's life stages? That one there. It's just a vector. Choose. Where does choose come from? This one here. Choose is this I need to do. Role. Constant iterator is candidates. Begin. So I'm asked it as a role. Just choose a random one, and then it should be human list. Iterator, and then human chosen equals it. Right, so now we've chosen the random one, we can then force them to take the job. Now taking a job happens up here in step. It's that. Right. Okay. I'm going to create a quick chosen live stage. I'm going to pass in the vacancy. The expiration year I don't care about. It's the live stage duration. And the operation we know about, which is the operation. And I'm going to say give to human. Now that doesn't exist yet, but it's going to, because these 3 lines up here that I just copied and pasted and then changed my mind on. Hello Werit, just seen you pop up, thanks for joining in. So let's see, it's this thing here. I basically want to say chosen, give to human, and take all of that and go to live stages and put this in give to human human. Okay, then I want to put this at the bottom and say live stage. Right. And then previous stage. Now this is the interesting bit. We staged the new live stage, which is basically this. And then that's easy, we just do events on choice. Previous stage, yeah, human, possibles. This is the interesting bit, possibles. Possibles is going to need to be in here, which is possible events. This is kind of like the derivative. It's things that, the list of things that might happen because you do stuff. So we're going to need to add possible events here. Possibles. That's right there. Let's save all of that stuff and it will just do a bit of just-in-time compilation, try and figure out what's going on. Okay, has that saved everything? I'm sure there must be some weird, strange things. Okay, possibles. Yes, I did mean possibles, not possible. Okay, I've still got some errors in here. Where are they? Be here somewhere. There's it. There it is. Okay, central job. Reference to non-static member. Cannot initialize a parameter of type constant, sol constant last stage with a. quite sure what that error is. Obviously has to be a return. Do feel free, if you're enjoying this stream, to bang the follow button. You know you want to, and you'll get on the stream as well. Stephen the Marscall's been there for a little while now. It's time someone else took his place. Much as we appreciate Stephen the Marscall. Right, why is this not working? So I'm going to ignore that particular error for now, wait for it to come up in compilation, it'll be easier to figure out. Right, so if chosen gives you blah, otherwise choices, and then we clean up all the choices, fine. So that will work for this one. The key thing here is that this isn't going to work. We need possibles, which means that this fill event essential vacancies is going to need to have possible events happen. Which is what the step one does already. Where is that happening? Possibles process. Human this year events. So we're going to need to process possible events here for this current year. Whatever year we're stepping through right now. Which means that we're going to need to have a new array of possible events. That's fine. And we give those to the human, and then we're going to have to process possible events for the human given the year. So basically we're going to need to take, as part of this, we're going to need to take the year so that we can pass it into process possible events. That will stamp in the history with the particular event that's happened, which is correct. That's what we're expecting. Okay. Perfect. So it's just compiling everything. There's a few problems. User undeveloped. Oh yeah. This is because this is a history. Fill essential. And yeah. Okay, let's just save all of this stuff. See what is happening. User undeclared identified test. Yes, that would be right. Hello, welcome if you're just joining. What I'm doing is I'm trying to force the sorry, let me just figure this one out. There we go. No match constructor. Third operation would lose const. Ooh, interesting. Okay. That's not the end of the world. That won't work though because operations only returns consts. No, that works. Should probably just return the thing we've got there. That doesn't really need to be a method call. Okay. Okay, so what we're trying to do, sorry, I was in the middle of a sentence and I completely forgot to finish it, is we are trying to get the I'm still doing the same thing, aren't I? Let's compile and then I can concentrate. I'm trying at the moment to get the history generation connecting well to the game running. So at the moment, we have a whole bunch of jobs generated by the history. There's a bunch of vacancies and things like that. However, once you start getting the game running, there are certain jobs that just must be fulfilled. Certain jobs that are out there that simply will not work. The game won't work. So for one of them, which we've discovered recently, is space traffic control. If a bit like air traffic control, if there's no one to say, hey, you know what, you need to land, or yes, you can land at this particular city, no one's going to be landing. So I need to fill the essential jobs for a particular city. Now, the only essential jobs I've got at the moment are the president of the federation, the governing councillor of the federation, like the planetary governor, and air traffic control. Those are the only ones that need to be filled in. Okay, what's wrong here? Reference to non-static member function must be called. Cannot actually the parameter. Did you mean to call it with no arguments? Ah, help if I. Just a stupid typo. That should do it. So once these essential vacancies are filled in, we'll be in much better shape. Can I initialize a parameter of type sol essential job, is that? Ah. That's better. Once I figured out whether or not something is an essential job, then I'm in good shape, basically. That's my definition. Once all these essential jobs are filled, then the game will be able to function. What's wrong with that one? It's because it's not const. The game will be able to function well once I fill in space traffic control. Otherwise, the game will simply not function. So that's just no good. Sorry about the quality today. It's still a little bit blurry, isn't it? I'm just trying to figure out why that is. My output bitrate isn't brilliant. I think it's possibly because the connection in my shed here isn't that good. I can try and drop the frame rate a little bit. It's down to 15 frames a second, which is rubbish, to be honest. The other thing I can probably do is stop the ticker scrolling. So that will help because it means less keyframes required, I guess. Let's see whether or not that improves things at all. It's not brilliant, is it? It just seems to be every 5 seconds. It just seems to be flicking. I'm not quite sure why that is. Sorry about that. I don't seem to be able to gain a constant bitrate from here. Okay. Let's try compiling. Sort out the bit while I'm compiling. Let's see if this works well. So, doesn't seem to be any better. Just trying to figure out how to make it better. Working on it, working on it, working on it. Yeah, I might just have to leave it. I'm going to just run a stream where I just experiment with it pretty soon. So I'll just have to figure out what's going on. Hey, Frenic TV, thanks very much for following. Your name is in lights. Great to have you on board. Let's see how long Frenic TV lasts as the new follower. So, I'll try and figure out why that is just not looking very good in terms of quality. Well, this is quite a long build, isn't it? What are the ones that are important? It's life stages that's important. That's built. History is also built. Yeah, it's running quite hot at the moment. Yeah, I don't think it will be too much longer. Hopefully. So if anyone got any questions about the game, happy to answer them. This is a good time to do it while I'm compiling. Stephen the Narsgol is clearly the newest follower again. Ah, maybe Frenic TV didn't hang around. Well, never mind. That is totally fine. Or maybe you're just following again, I don't know. Okay, anyway, too few arguments to function call. Yes, this is because the year has changed in the history spec. So I had the year as 2014. Before, I probably just need to set it to test year. Yeah, that's what I expected. So now I have to pass in the year. That should now compile, hopefully. It's trying it. Yes, that compiled, so let's try again. Frenic TV, is that Emacs? The answer is no, this is Vim. I'm a big Vim fan. I think Vim is amazing. I used to use Emacs. I used Emacs, I started using Emacs about 15 years ago, and I stopped using it about 6 years ago. It's a great editor, but I think Vim is just a little bit faster to use. I love the modal editing. I love the fact that basically when you come out of typing mode, you switch to basically a massive gamepad. It turns your keyboard into this gamepad, which is customized for editing text. It's really just the most amazing thing ever. I can't describe how good it is. The learning curve for using Vim is pretty vertical. It takes you drop a lot of productivity very quickly, but it is doable. Right, we have a crash in Phil's Essential Vacancies. Let's see what that crash is. Quick debugging run. Okay, Frenic TV has followed again. Vim or Vin? Vim, V-I-M. You just write that in so that you can see it. So just running the build. My load is running pretty high right now. I could do with a faster computer, to be honest, to do this. Oh, yeah, I need to do that. Okay, let's see where it crashed. If not operation. Okay, so chosen life stage essential job, this is null. That is because human stage, if the human doesn't have a stage, then it's not going to work. Humans don't always have to have stages if they are alive. That's quite possible. Thank you, tests, for catching that. If human stage and human stage is in an essential job, then continue. Good. Right, let's try running that. I hope you can see I've just updated the view for the live development stream. I spent quite a lot of time doing it yesterday, far too much time to be honest. I even went as far as to match the colours on the panel on the left hand side to my colour scheme. I know that's a bit sad, but you know, it was fun to do. But I thought, you know, I might as well be coordinated with the colours that I'm using. Plus I don't really like black, so I wanted to kind of match that as much as possible. Okay. Just looking at the quality, still not very high. While we're running these things. Oh, okay, we finished. Okay, one test failure. Still crashing. Let's see what's happening this time. Yeah, quality on the stream. For some reason, it just seems to be dropping quite a lot. So yeah, sorry about that. I'm not quite sure why. It's been better in the past. It could be something to do with... Oh, I don't know. Something's going on. Okay, roll round candidate size. That is probably because candidate size is 0. So rand modulo 0 isn't going to work. There are no candidates, then we can't. Right, this is a problem. If we get to the point where we try to fill an essential vacancy, then we're going to have to report and quit, because I want to know about that. That's really important to know. We need to have at least one candidate at this point, otherwise we're screwed. Okay. Right, so cannot fill vacancy councillor for Operation Planetary Council. Right, so that's more expected. Right. If we can't fill the vacancy, we're screwed. So the problem is we filled the first one. I bet we filled the first one, which will be the president, but now we don't have enough humans to fill the next one. Let's just double check that's true. Let's double check. This may or may not be true. Continued apologies for the quality of the stream. I don't know how to figure it out. I think it's simply just because I've got a very poor internet connection today from here. It's never that quick in the garden office that I'm sitting in. I've dropped it right down to 20 frames a second in order to try and speed it up. That did seem to make a difference, but I'm not sure I can improve it any other way, so I'm really sorry about that. We're just going to have to put up with it, I think. Okay, we've got a crash here. Still can't fill the vacancy. Did it fill the first one? Yes. Filled the president for Operation Interplanetary Senate. Brilliant. So we did fill that one, but we can't fill all of the others because we don't have any other humans. Now, that's because we only have one human in this test code. Let's switch to this one. Where do we add the humans? It was in comma 1, wasn't it? Comma 1. There. Generate initial humans form. What does this actually do? Can I do this more than once? Depends what this does. Oh yeah, we can carry on doing that. That's fine, I can do that more than once. If I can do this more than once, I'll just generate a bunch more. The only problem that we might have is that they'll be the wrong age. City human generated. It'll create them, but they won't be the right age. So, well, we'll see what happens. This should now be 0. Now I've got 3 humans. They should just be added directly to the list. That's what I think will happen. Oh, there was an error there. Test history. Test map. Okay, that'll work. Okay. See what's going to happen now. Boom! Right. Still failing. Expected 0, but was a 1. So we should have a bunch of humans. I wonder if I create that, set that to 3. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, I didn't just keel over or something just then. Just going out of shot for a minute. Okay. Once I've got this essential vacancy stuff sorted, this does open up the way to a whole bunch of other important stuff that I want to do in the game. It's really important that we ensure that. Okay, split 0 is 1, so it's still not doing it. We filled that. We filled the 3 that I thought we would have, but why is there still 1 left? Let's just print out the human as well. See, it's not the same one doing it all the time. That's important. If you have any questions, I'm very happy to answer them. Lots of things I could say, but I'm kind of beholden to you guys for asking them. If you're enjoying the channel, please do bang the follow button. Sorry about the quality today. I think that's my net connection. There's not much I can do about that. I'm really sorry. I will try and figure it out for the next time and do some streaming tests, maybe inside my house as opposed to in the garden office, which where I am currently. Okay. If you're new and you haven't been here before, it'd be really great to know where you found us. So did you find us from the Twitch game development stream? Did you find us from Reddit? Did you find us from somewhere else? Are you watching in one of the websites that this is embedded? That would be really good to know. Oh, it just says entity. Well, that's useless. Useless. Let's just go with chosen. Full name. Basically, I'm just trying to find out if it's the same one, but that'll tell us. I've noticed a lot of people are using Mac for game development now. Have we always used Mac? Yes. Since about 2006, I've used Macs pretty much exclusively. When they became kind of Linuxified and the build quality got a bit higher, I just find them really useful. I think the only problem with this particular set of Macs, it's great, it's only a year old. It's a great Mac, I like it a lot, but it just doesn't quite have the horsepower that I really like in order to be able to build this game quicker and also do live streaming. It's just not really working for me. Right, so I have 3, but there's still 1 vacancy. Why is this? Let's try and figure out why. I need to print out the vacancy name here. Because it shouldn't be one. Let's try and find out what's going on. So yeah, I've used Macs since 2006. I really like them. They're just really neat. The build quality is very high. They run Unix under the hood. I think probably I've also got a Litecoin server that I run, which is basically as my heater. It also builds Litecoins and has a bunch of GPUs in it which run Litecoin building all day. And they also heat this room, which is quite useful. So it saves me a bit in electricity. But otherwise it just costs a fortune to run my heater. Whereas this is only 500 watts and it's worth doing. Right, remaining. There's a councillor remaining. But there were 3 vacancies here. They were all... Is it the same? Is it the same vacancy? That's the question, really. Is it the same vacancy? It's very difficult to know. Okay, only one way to find out. That'll do it. Find me through Game Development Chab. Cool. Third year computer science major, just going to get into game development. Awesome. There are pretty much 2 ways to go with game development these days. You can join a AAA company, which is pretty much what I did out of university. I started off at Elixir Studios in about 2000, something like that. A year or so out of university. I finished university in '99. Did that for a while, made a bunch of contacts, got a bunch of experience. It was kind of fun, and then quit the industry because of the hours mostly. Wanted to start a family, and then I moved into web development probably around about 10 years or so, and have recently come back to games in my spare time, which is an awesome thing. to do. So I love writing games. It's a pretty hard choice, if I'm honest. It's not necessarily the best. What have I done here? Just got too many brackets. It's a lot of work for not much reward, but it's what I love doing, so I can't help do what I love doing, so I'm going to keep on doing it until someone prizes the keyboard from my cold, dead fingers, to be honest. That'll be pretty much how it goes. I think it's definitely one of my favourite things to do. Okay, so we're almost finished building. Okay, let's have a look. Vacancies, blah. Okay, should have put some. So the Planetary Council is the main one that comes up. What I want to know is why. Ooh, are there two? Huh. Let's just make sure I can actually see that. Okay, that's cool. Doing it as a hobby. Hobby is good. It's a lot of fun, and you do learn a lot. Systems programming, developing operating systems. Interesting choice. Why operating systems out of interest? Okay, let's just finish this building. This is a bit slow and annoying, but once we get to the end of this, it'll release some pretty cool stuff. Okay, let's have a look. Right, so we've got Interplanetary Senate 1. After Planetary Council we get 2. It's just interesting that it's filling this one, and this one, but it's still saying that there's a job. Oh. There's one essential job, but it's not being filled. So in the operation type, we're saying this job is an essential job. In the operation, no, it's not the operation, it's in, where is that? Maybe it is in the operation. Essential vacancies, essential operation, occupational size, this is it. Okay, if role available given staff, does that mean that I've just got councillors? No, we start with one. There should just be one of them. I don't understand what's going on. Nice. So I'm just reading Frenix's reply. Yeah, fair enough. There's also embedded programming, which is kind of fun. Programming really close to the metal. I'm assuming that you enjoy Arduino type development as well, and that's lots of fun. interesting that you like C. I'd check out Rust as well. That's another interesting systems level language. Go, I think, is at a slightly higher level than C and Rust. Assembly class, yeah, well, that's less and less useful, but yeah, that's worth doing. Right, why is it? Let's see. Why is this not working? The role's available. Find this really annoying. I wonder. Okay, I wonder if this is going to help. What I'm trying to do is just trying to find out why this is not reporting this job as filled. I'm pretty sure the job is filled, but I'm not quite sure why it's not reporting it as filled. A different person each time is taking the job. So Robert's taking the president, Sharon's taking councillor, and Lindsay's taking space traffic controller. However, there's still a job available, even though there are only 3 vacancies to start with. So I'm probably just making some stupid mistake. Okay. There were 4 jobs for the Planetary Council, interesting. So it's probably only size 1. But there is an essential one, which is the councillor. Oh, I'm sorry about the deleted links. I am not sure how to turn those on, if I'm honest. If any of you guys know how to allow certain people to link, then that would be amazing. I'm very happy to facilitate that if I can. Oh, thanks for Handmade Hero as well. That's really good to know. Right, okay. Why is this job available? I think this is a big distraction. I'm going to turn off. I don't think these guys should be essential. I know that might just seem like I'm just not getting anywhere, so I've turned it off, but I'm not convinced that's actually the right thing. Yeah, I think that's probably best. Okay. Never mind. Ilkasur. Is that how you pronounce your handle? Ilkasur. Right. Yeah, I'm the same. I have goodness knows how many years programming. 15, 16 years maybe. I still love watching other people program. I just find it really helpful to figure out what they're doing. Hey, that passed the test. Awesome. Oops, did I just minimize that? That was the wrong thing. Okay, probably about time we had a look at the game. Give you guys some context. So, this is the idea. This is my little planet here, Mercury. My stuff. What I want to do is have it so that instead of landing at the particular planet, you have to radio in. So you basically say, radio Mercury City Spaceport, and this will be some dude at the end of the line saying, yes, you can land. Unfortunately, that doesn't work at the moment. We can't do it. So that's what I'm trying to make work. I'm trying to add AI in order to allow people to do that. Yeah, I think it's because I had two of them. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Okay. If you like this stream, please do recommend it. I'm trying to build a bit of a following on Twitch. Oh yeah, I know that you're saying that. I think that's totally fine. If you have any questions, I think you're very welcome to ask them. I'm trying to be approachable about stuff like this, and yeah, please do ask your questions if you would like to. That would be totally fine. Okay, looking to help others as much as possible. Right, so now that's working, we have those essential vacancies. There's another little bit of stuff I need to add, which is if that particular human matches the vacancy. So initially, they're not going to match. But if I do test year plus 20, or 25, or 40, they should match. Now the other thing is this. Doesn't need to be done. Any reason I'm using boost instead of STL for boost for each? Boost is a massive dependency. I'm only using tiny bits of it. I started using it all the time and then decided that it was a bad idea, and I'm now not using it very much at all. It's just much safer. Boost is great, but it slows the build times right down. Boost for each itself, yeah, I think that's. I'm not sure if it slows the build down per for each. Now that you can do autos, I think I would probably switch to using something else. Having said that, I'm just kind of, you know what it's like. You're trying to get a game out. I'm trying to reduce my cognitive load and trying to just kind of figure out how to do this stuff well. Would be it's a distraction. I need to get the game out. This game is only probably 6 months away from completion, and I need to finish it. I really do. So that's why I've deliberately tried to avoid refactoring massively. If you were to hear and tell me that basically I'm spending a massive amount of time doing this, as in build time is being slowed down through the for each, then I would seriously consider doing something about that. Reference. Yeah, yeah, agreed. It's not that it's stable as such. I don't mind C++11. It's more that it's just in my mind. That's how I'm doing for eaches, and I just do it, and I don't really want to think about it too much, to be honest. Okay, let's just do that. Do I do freelance work for web development? Yeah, sometimes. I'm in an unfortunate position where, because I've been doing it for a while, I don't actually have to code for money anymore. I'm in a position where I can actually teach and train other people for money. So I tend to spend most of my time, my paid time, actually running training courses and coaching clients. So I maintain a blog at chrismdp.com. I'm kind of chrismdp everywhere on the internet. The only reason I couldn't have chrismdp as my handle on Twitch is because I think it was my Justin TV handle originally, and I screwed up the account or something anyway. So yeah, that's me. That's where I'm on the internet. You will chrismdp on Twitter, that kind of thing. So because I've kind of got a bit of a reputation in the web sphere, I'm able to just spend most of my time working on training courses and that kind of thing, which gives me some free time to be able to work on things like the game, which is great. So let's see, that's not worked, but that was expected. Oops. Oops, what am I doing? Because I want to try and match. Right, so at the moment it will take anyone. Anyone who doesn't already have an essential job will be matched to this vacancy, and that is bogus. We need to find the piece of code. This one, fill with available jobs. Basically, it's that one. So yeah, I'm entirely freelance. I used to work for a games development company about 10, 15 years ago, a AAA company. Then I went to do web stuff. I built my own company up doing web development, and closed that about 3 years ago. And since then, I've tried to avoid. I've done a bit of contract work for people, but mostly kind of been a bit of a guru rather than someone on a team. Okay, so now we've got if option match. What is option? Oh, I've lost it. Too much talking. Yeah, it's a life stage, right? That's the vacancy. The vacancy matches this particular human. Now we also need events by human, which is part of this history and the year we're in. So, any other questions? Very welcome. Happy to answer technical questions. Happy to answer whatever. Right, so if we match, then we push it back. Brilliant. Now that might pass the test. The reason that these vacancies won't match is that there are certain age restrictions on them. So if I run in the same if I run them on the same time, on that time they won't work, but if I run them 40 years ahead, then they should be old enough. That's the idea. What techs? I'm using obviously C++. I'm using SDL for my kind of main compatibility layer, kind of the raw base layer. Right, what happened? Terminating, there's a crash message somewhere. There's my crash log. Is this the right one? No, that's an old one. Let's try again. I'm using Chipmunk for my physics. I'm using LibRocket for the GUI, OpenGL for the graphics, and the rendering. The rendering engine is my own, for better or for worse. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Things like libzip and libping and freetype and stuff like that as well. Right, why is that crashing? Is there an error? Yes. Cannot fill vacancy for president. Yes. Yes, that is because no one can be a president. The reason people can't be president is it's quite hard to be president because you have had to have done other things first, I think. Let's see. So that's my test working as expected. Let's have a look at what the prerequisites for president are. President. To be older than 35, you've got to have good charm, good status, good wealth. And not older than 100, not had a prison term, and not already been president. Okay, so these things need to be true. Well, I could fix one of my people. That's probably the right thing to do. LibRocket, yeah, it's quite good. It's basically a kind of, I'd probably go ahead and integrate bits of Chromium if I was doing it again, just because you get JavaScript potentially as well when you do that using V8. I'd probably go that route now if I was going to redo it. You know, I think that's the way that a lot of people do it now. I think it would be neat to do that. LibRocket is quite good. It's a bit slow in debug, you know, but it's reasonably okay. Better than writing your own. So how am I going to get a president filled from 2 humans? I'm going to have to bump up one of those humans, aren't I? Let's just choose the last human. Charm, good. Status, good. That'll do. Wealth will be average already. I think you can do that. Let's find out. Thanks to Syntastic, it should tell me straight away. No, I can't do that. I meant to do attributes. Yes, of course I did. Try again. No matching member function. Right, what am I doing wrong? Attributes, there it is. Oh, I have to do a get or something. Set. Set. And I spelled that wrong. There we go. Be good if you haven't already told me where you found out about this stream. Were you just browsing through game development on Twitch? Were you looking another way? That'd be great. Thanks for following Ilkasura, that's great. You are now the official newest follower. Probably have been for a while, I just didn't notice. Until somebody else bumps you off. Okay. Right. Crash. Error, cannot fill vacancy for president. Why not? Oh, they're probably... No, then... Why can't I fill the... Found a game... Only one not using Game Maker. Yeah, tell me about it. Well, tell people about the stream. If you would like to see more of it, the more followers I get and the more views I get, the more I'm inclined to do this, to be honest. And I kind of enjoy doing it, but it's nice when there are people around. And of course, the main thing I want to do is tell people about my game. That's the idea. This is where I'm going with all of this. So yeah, please do get the word out, and that goes for everyone who's here. If you're able to, that would be really helpful. Okay, I've set the attributes of this human, so therefore, when I fill the vacancies, they should be okay. However, for some reason, they are not. Let's go back to operation type. They're not doing it. They're not older than 35? Ah, yes, this is not going to work. The reason is I've got this far, but it's not. I might just kill that throw just for now, because it's just screwing me up. It's screwing me up. I've just, one thing I should also say while I'm compiling is that I've just redone my stream layout. It'd be great for any comments, anything you think could be improved. I'll turn the snow on for a minute. Why not, eh? It's Christmas after all. Okay, fills essential vacancies, unexpected crash. Cannot fill vacancy for president. Why did I crash though? Let's find out. Here we go. Oh. Right, there's nothing in it. That'll be why. Oh, it's because I removed the candidate size stuff. Yeah. So the issue here is that I just need to return at this point rather than quitting. That snow is probably massively killing the frame rate, but you know, it's kind of fun. Well, apart from when massive snowflakes go over and you can't see anything. What I really need, I think, is better hardware. Okay, failure this time. Okay, so we still haven't managed to fill those vacancies because we still can't fill the presidency even when the year is greater than 40. Why is that? Why can't this person that I've just been screwing around there? It should be at least above average. Maybe their wealth isn't average. Those are all negatives. They won't be older than 100. They should be older than 35 by now. It could be that we're giving that particular person, when we fill the vacancies, is going straight to the other one, the first vacancy. Let's see. That's quite possible. Oh no, can't be because I'm showing that. So first time it can't fill the presidency, second time it can't fill the presidency. Okay. Cannot fill it, cannot fill it. Why is that? Okay, what I'm going to do, prerequisites are not something that I have much debugging on, unfortunately, but I can certainly check to see which prerequisites I'm on, because they're in order, so I'll be able to tell how many they've gone through. Especially if I do it like this, match. Right. Okay, that's really unclear. Okay, unfortunately, that's printing out too much stuff. Just need to just comment out a bunch of stuff. Cool. Hey, thanks, Frenick. Nice to see you. See you later. So I don't think I'll be on in 3 hours' time. My kids come home in around about half an hour. So it could be that that will be it for me. Right, let's have a look. Oh, I got still loads of history gen happening. Oh dear. Yeah, really hope that funnel goes well. Right, what else can I do to try and debug this? Why is this vacancy not matching? It comes down to these prerequisites, but I can't show it like that. Prerequisites. Can't get to them. It just says it. Basically, find match. Just need to poke. Okay, I know what I need to do. So test all entity. Okay. Okay, I think it's only getting as far as the first one, based on that. Which means the age is wrong. Right. So what I've discovered, I think, is that through looking at T, it looks like it's only getting as far as the first prerequisite, which is an age check. If you look at presidency, not older than 35, You've got to be older than 35 for this to work. Ah, they don't have an age. They don't have an age because they didn't ever get... Ah. Okay. The reason this is failing is because you need a birth event in order for this to work. So just saying test year isn't going to work. We're going to need to run until adulthood first. In the spec. Now this should work. That will create a birth event and actually step through some of these dudes to give them some jobs and some other stuff so that they might actually be born. Otherwise, just 20 years goes by without them ever actually being born, which is no good. No good at all. Okay, full failing. 2 but 2. Ooh, interesting. Expected 2 but was 1. Oh, it's because when I ran them until adulthood, one of the vacancies was gone. Because someone took the job. I don't want to run them until adulthood, because otherwise what will happen is they'll start taking the vacancies, which is not what I'm expecting. So what I actually want to do is just generate births for all of these people. See, how do I currently generate births? No, not the game loader. Not there. Life stage event is applied when they go through the newborn life stage. So they have to choose the newborn life stage, which means that they need to step at least once. Right, so we need to step through history once so that all of these new people I've generated will at the very least get through. Yeah, I don't need to do that. I just need to do this. I only need to do it once. And then they'll all be newborns. Woohoo! I probably just need to do that actually. Then they'll have born, but they won't take the jobs, which is important. I don't want them to take any jobs. Okay, just fixing errors. You probably noticed, but I've been spending a little bit of time screwing around with my stream. Sorry that the quality is poor today. Not quite sure why that is. Seems to be just about readable though. Okay, where are we up to? You two are texting me and I don't care. Right, okay. Still 2. Still cannot fill the vacancy president. Why not? Why can't we have a president? Set all of that. I've tried this. He's not being given a job at all. We've got 2 vacancies and we try to fill them, and they are still there, and we cannot fill the president vacancy. Is the important thing is the live stage event is happening so that they get an age. It could be that that's not firing. Right, so it could be that they don't have an age, which I can easily check. I'll make sure that they've got a birth date. That would be a good thing. If this test fails, then I know that I've still not quite managed to configure my test correctly. Okay, so the context for this, everybody, is that I'm trying to... I'll just turn the snow off for a minute. Stop snowing, sorry about that. The context here is that I'm trying to figure out how to fill the essential jobs in my system. So how can I have a history generation? Okay, did that fail? Yes, it did, because the guy is still not choosing a correct life stage. I had this problem before. I think I remember having this before. A bit frustrated. I think I'm just going to force this to work. I know we may set them to be boys. That's tough. It's just a test. So the point of this is I've got a nice history generator which generates organizations and all of that stuff, and it creates new AI people, new humies in this history, which then have jobs. The problem that we have is that I've got a few problems here. That's fine. Test.year. Oh, I don't think that matters. The problem that we have is that there are certain jobs that are essential. Such as space traffic control. It's impossible to have a functioning game which doesn't have someone in the space traffic control role. Now, if you generate a small history with hardly any people in it, then it's quite possible that someone in your history would not have taken the space traffic control job during history generation. That's expected and fine. The problem with that, obviously, is that that means that the game won't function, which isn't so good. So what I'm trying to do is set up the game so that it will assign... Oh, well, it worked. Fantastic. Finally. Let's just comment all of that out, and it shouldn't work. So now that I've basically set up the last human to be good enough to be a president, and then it's all worked. Brilliant. The problem is if they don't take that job, then the game won't work. So I'm trying to force certain numbers of people to take a job, and in order to do that, I'm writing a test which ensures that we're doing that correctly. I like writing tests for my code. I like wrapping bits of my code with specific tests, because automated testing is a really, really useful way of ensuring program correctness, and it means I won't have bugs to figure out later. This code is pretty complicated. Right, yeah, so the reason that this has not worked is because they couldn't find a president. But if I bump that person's attributes all up, then they're able to. Okay, brilliant. So that's what's going on, at least that's the idea. I'm very sorry, I wanted to say about the quality of the stream, it's a little bit blurry today. I'm not quite sure why it's caused so many problems. I think that my bitrate here is pretty rubbish. I think it's simply my net connection, and I'm not sure I can do much about it. Sorry about that. Okay, so this should still work. Okay, brilliant. Great, so now we have a working essential vacancy filler. Ooh, crikey. What I need to do now, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Let's see what I've changed. Is this all essential vacancies? Yeah, it's all about the space traffic controller, isn't it? Just looking through the changes I've made, that's all generated, so that's fine. Using a local Git repo, yeah, that's all local. But then I push it up to GitHub when I'm done, and then the build server picks it up. Right, so space traffic controller essential jobs. Right, what I'm not doing now is I'm not actually using this fill essential vacancies thing that I'm doing here. So that's the next step. So when we start the game, which happens in the world gen controller, start game, show start game. No, actually start the game would be good. What happens when I actually start the game? Okay, what happens when I actually click on starting the game? Start game button. Start a game is true, create player, generate, complete. Right. Yeah, well this is kind of where it happens. This here is exactly where it actually creates the player and starts the game. It's probably, no, not in there. It's probably in the solar system generator. I actually want to do this. Generate. Here. So before we hook up everyone, we want to basically say state history fill essential vacancies. And actually, if we can't fill them, we need to do standard C error. Cannot fill essential. And then I'm going to throw at this point. And then in here, oh, we can simply say bool return false, and then here return true. Fill essential. Oop, that was it. That was it. Bool. Okay, and that should all work fine. Still a problem? What's the error? Oh yeah, state, yeah. Should be it, shouldn't it? Ooh, we don't know. Do we have any reference to year? How do we know how far we've got? How do we know? Is it in the world gen controller? Where does the year get applied? Oh, it is in the world gen controller. Maybe we don't know which year we're up to. Interesting. Check for new line. No, that's not it. Well, we're just going to pass it in. There we go. Save that everywhere. That's all fine. That's not. Well, it does now. That should be fine. I see no comments in the code. I too like to live dangerously. Nice. I hear what you're saying. I don't like comments in code. I much prefer tests instead of comments and well-named methods. The reason that I don't like comments is mostly to do with the fact that comments tend to drift about code. It's actually not actually good style to add lots of comments to your code because comments are often inaccurate. A much better form of documentation, in my view, is actual code itself, by making code itself as expressive as possible. If you don't have good tests, and if you're not doing test-driven development, then I think you need comments more often. If you are, then I think comments are actually superfluous and can actually be detrimental to a code base. Right, so now I'm generating, I'm now filling those essential jobs. Let's see what happens, see if that works. If you like the stream, do feel free to bang the follow button on Twitch. You'll see your name in lights if you do that. Kernel.org.com. Interesting, I shall have a look at that. Comments. Yeah, I disagree with the indentation. I prefer 2 spaces. That's because I'm a Ruby programmer as well. Comments. What do they say about comments here? Comments are good, but there is also a danger of over-commenting. Never try to explain how your code wants to comment. Absolutely true. Much better to write the code so the working is obvious. Very true. Do you want your comments to tell what your code does? Yeah, but I would say that clean expressive code should be preferred. Putting comments inside a function body. Function is so complex you need to separately comment parts of it. You should probably go back to chapter 6, which presumably means break the code up into separate functions. You can make small comments to note one about something particularly clever. Yeah, you see that. To be honest, it's probably best if you're trying not to be clever at all. I think put the comments at the head of the function telling people what it does. Yeah, okay, I don't mind documenting comments which are potentially extracted out, potentially. But so that you can put HTML for your comments, but I still think that you don't need them. Write some tests that show what your code does rather than writing comments. I'm sure there's some good stuff in here. I'm sure there totally is. But it's kind of cool. Right. Okay, that worked. Right, let's try creating a small world. Sorry, I'm eating, so I moved the microphone away. And see what happens when we start the game. Almost there. Nope. Okay, so interesting. So we found a bunch of space traffic controllers. But not for Asimov. Interesting. Interesting. So we did fill the space traffic controllers off. Then we tried to find this person. They were not there. That's fascinating. Interesting. Well, I'm doing that. Right, finished eating now. Sorry about that. Normal service resumed. Right. So when we check profession for a particular location, we can't find this person, even though Barbara has filled in. It could be that they haven't been moved. One thing that's possible is that if Barbara Degnan Griffiths, that's probably what's happened. I see what's happened. Barbara Degnan Griffiths has been filled in as a space traffic controller for Operation Asimov, which is on Venus, I think. Anyway, somewhere. Now, what's happened is that her husband, Harry Degnan Griffiths, has then been given an essential job somewhere else. What that's done is it's actually caused Barbara to move to Mercury City, because it happened later, with Harry. Which means that which is crazy. So yeah, Oh yeah, sorry. Can you add your schedule info to the channel description when you get the time? Yeah, I don't have any schedule info because I'm so random with the way I do this. I really need to set up a schedule. Your bio would help as well, and some more info about the game. Yep, that would be good. Almost left earlier since some streamers just mumble over code for hours. Yeah, I'm really trying not to do that. I'm trying to remind myself to give context every couple of minutes. Otherwise, it's very dull. I'm trying to make this a really good stream, so please tell me how to improve it, so that's really helpful. Yes, I will add the bio information as soon as I'm done. That would be definitely a good thing to do. I think my family have arrived, but they're all in the house, so that's fine at the moment. Okay, so yes, I will definitely do that, no problem. Okay, so the problem that we have is that we cannot have someone filling in a job, where is the filling in, who has a spouse in an essential job in a different place. That's confusing, isn't it? But that's basically the rule. So in order to stop that happening, we have some spouse checks already. Where are they? I know I've seen them in the code. Not in this file. No, not that one. Historical event, maybe? Any advice for a first-year CS student not to want to forget stuff? Keep coding. Keep coding over your Christmas break. That's the best advice I can give. Just find a project to work on and just learn stuff. Then you won't forget anything. Okay. Where is that code? There's definitely a bunch of if spouse stuff. I can't remember where it is. There you go, Ilkasur. Absolutely right. Oh, we just need to put you on mute a second. I have a family arriving.